got a problem. The economy's in the tank and going deeper. The stock market's in the tank. Inflation is going to get worse. Maybe not right now, but there's so much money out there that inflation eventually has to take off. They're desperate. So what do? So you look around and you say, instead of saying, what they should say is, my God, look at the mess we've created. Let's not make it any worse. Maybe even let's make it better. Let's get rid of the Fed. Let's cut the government budget way down and cut taxes and balance a budget, or maybe even cut expenditures so much that we can cut taxes and still run a little surplus and pay off some of those IOUs we have. Let's quit regulating the economy. Let's let the bad companies go under. If they make bad bets like Lehman, let them go under. If they make bad products like General Motors, let them go under. Let's let the free market work instead of government. Why? What is the free market? The free market isn't a machine. It's not a mechanism, anything. All the free market is you and I voluntarily exchanging with each other. Notice voluntarily. I don't force you to sell me anything. You don't force me to buy anything from you. I don't force you to buy anything from me, right? You don't force me to sell you anything. We do what we would like to do. That is, be free to do as we choose, voluntarily. And then government comes along and says, well, we're not satisfied with you folks, at what you folks are doing. Now remember, government's just other people, huh? But it's the other people who get in control and have the guns, right? The police, the army, they can tell you what to do, and they do. And they say, we don't like what you folks are doing. Or, so we don't want you doing that. And there's some other things we think you ought to do, and you can do it. So the government is coercion. That's all the government is. It's a force of coercion, forcing people to do things that they otherwise wouldn't do. Huh? And preventing people, coercing them from doing things they want to do. That's all the government is. It's force and coercion. Why? Why not just leave people alone to be free? Now, if somebody punches you in the nose, that's different, right? But as long as you don't punch somebody in the nose or steal from them, just leave people alone. But the problem is, there are those who have the will to power. They want power. And there's two ways to get power. Power means the ability to get somebody else to do what you want them to do. And there's two ways. The economic way, which is to go out and offer them something to do. I want you to shine my shoes. Okay? You say, I don't want to. And I say, well, how about $10? And you say, no. I say, $20. 30. You say, okay. See, that's voluntary. I didn't force you. You didn't force me. Everything's fine. You get $30 for shining my shoes. You're happy. I got my shoes shined. I'm happy. Everybody's fine, right? That's the voluntary way. That's the market way. The government way is, I want you to shine my shoes. You don't want to. Shine my shoes, or you go to jail. Shine my shoes, or I'll fine you. You know? I mean, that's the government way. They coerce you. You see? So why don't we quit all this nonsense and go back to what makes sense, which is a free economy? Well, because there are too many people who get too much power and too much wealth from having the power of government. The political power. Remember what Mao Zedong said, right? Political power grows out of the barrel of a gun. Economic power grows out of your ability to satisfy other people's wants. That's how I get you to satisfy my wants in the market. I satisfy yours. If I can't satisfy your wants, you have no reason then to want to satisfy mine. Voluntariness, see? And so where are we today with all this? Well, we're up the creek without a paddle, okay? Because the people in Washington haven't a clue. They don't know what to do. But all they know, the one thing that we're sure of is what? That they're not going to do nothing or actually go back to doing less. They're just going to try more and more and more. And as they try more and more and more, to the extent they're able to push the downturn in the economy from getting any worse and push it off into the future. It's just going to be worse and worse and worse when they do it because we're going to misallocate more resources. In the meantime, think about all this lending. They're pushing money out to the banks. The banks have money. They want the banks to lend. What do they want the banks and S&Ls to lend to people for? Guess what they're pushing? Well, the housing industry is in the tank. The automobile industry is in the tank. So lend the money to the people so they'll buy more houses and buy more cars. But we've already overbuilt those two industries. That's the cause of the problem in the first place. It's like telling a drunk, guy's a drunk and he wakes up on alcohol, wakes up the next morning, he shouldn't have been drinking, he wakes up and he says, oh, I got a solution for you to have a dog. Start today with another drink. Huh? It's sheer, utter insanity. But that's the route we're taking. And not much hope, folks, because they don't appear in any way like they're going to give it up. Just more and more and more. And I guess that's about enough, huh? Y'all had enough? I've had enough. Okay. So